You know that feeling when a game world grips you so hard that you're still thinking about its stories long after you put the controller down? That's the magic of lore-rich games, and today, we're diving into some of the very best. Let's start with something new and striking. Clair Obscur. Expedition 33 is a turn-based RPG that blends precise combat with a hauntingly mature narrative. Its parry and dodge mechanics make every fight feel like choreography, but what really stays with you is the dreamlike world, mysterious, tragic, and unforgettable. It's not just a stylish RPG, it's a story that demands to be unraveled. From there, we move to one of the biggest names in fantasy, The Witcher. Based on Andrzej Sapkowski's novels, the series has grown into a cultural phenomenon with 3 main RPGs, spin-offs, and even a Netflix show. What makes it so special is how alive its world feels. Every swamp, every village, every ruined keep is steeped in legend, with side quests that often rival main plots in other games. And nowhere is this more true than The Witcher 3, a sprawling epic that can pull you in for hundreds of hours. On the darker side, we've got Lords of the Fallen. Often compared to Dark Souls, it still manages to carve out its own identity with a grim tale of gods, corruption, and endless war. Exploration rewards you with hidden paths and secrets tied to its mythology, even if the game sometimes frustrates with ambushes and clunky camera work. For those craving a bleak fantasy world with weighty lore, it's worth stepping into. And speaking of Dark Souls, we can't ignore the remaster. Dark Souls Remastered sharpens the visuals and smooths out performance, but what truly makes it timeless is the way it tells its story. The fall of kingdoms, the curse of undeath, the fating of gods, it's all told through cryptic NPCs, ruined landscapes, and even item descriptions. It's less a story you're told, and more a puzzle you piece together, which is why fans still obsess over it today. Moving into Grand Adventure, Dragon's Dogma 2 expands on its cult classic predecessor with modern polish. Its pawn system makes battles cinematic, but the real hook is the lore. The cycle of the Arisen and the Dragon, the sense that the world hides deeper truths just beyond reach. Sure, some quests can feel vague, but the mythology behind it all keeps players pushing forward into the unknown. If we're talking about scale, The Elder Scrolls Online takes the cake. It's the rare MMO that manages to capture the spirit of Elder Scrolls, letting you explore Tamriel province by province. You can walk the streets of Morrowind, Skyrim, and Somerset in one continuous world, each with its own legends and history. Yes, some quests can blur together, but the sheer amount of lore on offer is staggering for long-term fans of the series. Of course, no list of lore-rich RPGs would be complete without Baldur's Gate. These games help define the genre, grounding players in the Forgotten Realms with its mix of personal stories, gods, factions, and sprawling side quests. The series' influence is still felt today, especially with Baldur's Gate 3, which revitalized the franchise while staying true to its roots. It's a masterclass in world-building that bridges generations of RPG fans. And while the remaster deserves its mention, the Dark Souls trilogy as a whole is in a league of its own. These games don't hand you lore on a silver platter. Instead, they scatter it in ruins, dialogues, and relics, daring you to connect the pieces. Every item, every boss fight feels like part of a grand, tragic tapestry. Fans have spent years decoding it, and that ongoing mystery is as much a part of the experience as the brutal combat itself. Lore doesn't always mean fantasy and dragons, though. The Talos Principle 2 proves that with a story rooted in philosophy and AI. Its puzzles are brilliant on their own, but it's the questions about humanity, consciousness, and legacy that really linger. You uncover fragments of lost civilizations and engage in deep conversations that stick with you long after you've solved the last riddle. It's lore for the mind as much as the heart. Finally, we come to Eternal Strands, a newer name that mixes elemental magic with towering creatures and mysterious ruins. At first, the combat and climbing systems grab your attention, but the deeper you dive, the more the game reveals about the Enclave's mythology and Bryn's role in it. The story and voice acting add surprising depth, making this more than just flashy action. It's a world worth exploring piece by piece. So whether it's the philosophical puzzles of Talos Principle 2 or the cryptic ruins of Dark Souls, these games prove one thing. Lore isn't just background flavor. It's the heartbeat of a world, the reason we come back even after the credits roll. The best games don't just entertain us, they live in our heads like legends.